In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to your online class. Hope so that you all will be fine and in the best condition of health and iman. Today, our first topic is unit number 3, media and its impact, and we will do its text questions and also the exercise which is given on page number 25 and 26 of your textbooks. Let's begin with text questions. Question number 1 is, guess the meaning of tutorial. So, tutorial means the period of teaching that involves discussion between students and a tutor. So, a span of time in which a teacher and the students do discussion on any topic, that is called tutorial. Number 2 is, what type of information does media provide? So, media provides all types of news and information. Question number 3. What is your favorite TV program and why it is your favorite? So you can write any program of your own choice and the reason for that why do you like that, but it should be grammatically right. But I am writing here for you one program. The National Geographic is my favorite TV program because it provides me a lot of information about the world of nature. Next is, summarize the major points of the unit in the given mind map. As we have done the reading of the whole lesson, so now we have to write down some important points from the chapter to sum it up. So let's do that. The topic for mind map is role of media and its impact. So we have to write down important points from the lesson. It plays a significant role. Media has become a part of our life. It spreads awareness. It tells us about everything happening in the world. It has become mouthpiece of the downtrodden, and through media, world has become a global village. So, by writing these points, we can summarize the whole lesson. Let's move towards answer the following questions. Question number 1 is, what is the most important function that media performs? So media is performing many functions, but the most important one is that media raises awareness about many social issues like corruption, terrorism, drug addiction, and violation of human rights. So its very important function is to highlight the social issues among people. Next question is, what are the two major means of communication? Give 3 examples for each. So, there are 2 means of communication, electronic media and print media are the 2 major means of communication. Electronic media includes film, radio and TV, and print media includes books, magazines and newspapers. Question number 3. How does media provide entertainment? So, how does it provide? Media provides us entertainment through dramas, films, interesting news and stories, etc. Question number 4. What happens when media is allowed to play its role unchecked? So, if media is allowed to play its role unchecked, it may spread false news. It may also spread false news against the government, which is very harmful for a stable government. So it's not only about government, it's about every walk of life that it may harm the whole society by creating or spreading false news. Next is, explain the following phrases as used in the text. So we have done all these phrases while reading the text. Let me read them out for you. Geared up, ready. Global village, whole world has become a community which is connected with electronic system of communication. A click away, only at a distance of one touch of a finger. Constructive role, a useful role. Raise awareness, to inform people that something exists and is important for them. Keep an eye, media watches everything carefully. A mouthpiece of downtrodden means media raises voice for the people. The next exercise is, put these words in relevant columns to identify the part of speech these words belong to. So the words are media, eagerly, communication, constructive, audience, global, information, false, means, corrective, impact and loudly. So here are three columns. One is for nouns, second is for adjectives, and third one is for adverbs. Before finding out that from which category, from which part of speech these words belong to, let us know about nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. The first one is noun. It is a word other than a pronoun used to identify any of a class of people, places, or things, or to name a particular one of these. In easy words, we can say that names of persons, places, or things are called nouns. Next is adverb. An adverb is a word or set of words that modifies verbs, adjectives, and also other adverbs. For example, in a sentence, he runs fast. So the word fast is modifying the word runs. It is telling us more about the verb. So here it is modifying verb, it is an adverb. In the same case, it also modifies adjectives and the other adverbs. Next one is adjective. So an adjective describes or modifies noun or a pronoun in a sentence. It normally indicates quality, size, shape, duration, feelings, contents, and more about a noun or a pronoun. So the word which modifies noun or a pronoun is called adjective. Now, after learning about the definitions or the concepts of nouns, adjectives, and adverbs, let's put the words in the correct column. So firstly, discuss about nouns. Nouns in these words are media, audience, means, information, communication, and impact. The next column is about adjectives. So adjectives are global, corrective, constructive, and false. The next one is adverbs. So here are only two adverbs, eagerly and loudly. The next exercise is change the following words into nouns. Fill in the blanks with nouns. So this exercise is having two steps. Firstly, we have to change the given words into nouns, and then we have to put them in blanks. So firstly, change them into nouns. Save, it's a verb. Safety is a noun. Excited, adjective. Excitement is the noun. Devastating, adjective. Devastation is noun. Active, it's adjective. Activity is noun. Helpless, adjective. Helplessness is noun. Hopeless, it's adjective, and hopelessness is noun. Able is adjective and ability is noun. Justify is verb and justification is noun. So we have converted these words into nouns. Now we have to put them in the blanks. Doctors are concerned with safety of the patients. In a state of excitement, she cried loudly. Floods often cause large-scale devastation. Positive activity will keep you healthy. Her helplessness was quite obvious. She was in a state of hopelessness. She has the ability required for the job. Have you any justification of this act? So this was all about the exercise of Unit 3 for today. Our next topic for today is present indefinite tense, and today we will do its introduction and also exercise number 1. Firstly, let us know about the definition. A tense that expresses daily routine, habit, or universal truth. For example, he goes to school. It is actually telling us about the daily routine. Next is she buys new shoes on Eid. So it is a habit that she always buys new shoes for Eid. Next is the sun rises in the east. It is the universal truth that it always rises from the east. Let's know about the rules of this tense. First of all, its identification. उर्दू फ़िक्रात के आखिर में ता है, ती है, ते हैं, ती हूँ और ता हूँ वगैरह आता है. So for Urdu sentences, at the end of the sentence, these words are used. The next one is helping verb. In simple sentences, we do not use helping verb, but in negative and interrogative sentences, we use helping verb do or does. The next one is the form of verb. For that we use first form of verb with s or es. A very important thing to note down is that we use first form with s or es and does for the negative sentences with which subjects? With he, she, it or any singular subject. For example, he works in an office and she plays badminton. So we have used s with first form of verb because the subjects are he and she. Next is we use first form and do with which subjects? I, we, you, they or any plural subject. For example, they work in an office and I play badminton. So any of those subjects from this second category, with these we will not use s with first form of verb, and with the first category we will use s or es with first form of verb. Dear students, one more thing is confusing, that when to add s or es and when to add ies with first form of verb. So for that, note down that if the verb is ending on ch, sh, o and double s, we use es with first form of verb. So I have given the example for each of the case. Catch is ending on ch, wash is ending on sh, go is ending on o, and cross is ending on double s. So for all these words we can use es after the first form of verb. Catch, catches, wash, washes, go, goes, cross, crosses. The next thing is that if the verb is ending on y, then we use ies with first form. But if there is vowel before y, then we use only s. For example, carry and destroy. In carry, the word is ending on y, but before that there is no vowel. So that's why we have used ies with first form. But in the next word, destroy, it also ends on y, but there is a vowel before y. That's why we will only add s with that. Destroy, destroys. The next one is the method of sentences, that how sentences are made for this tense. Firstly, we will talk about simple sentences. So we use this structure for simple sentences: subject, after that first form of verb with s or es, and then object. So we use s or es with first form for he, she, it or singular subjects, and we will not use them with I, we, you, they or plural subjects. For example, he eats an apple and they eat apples. The next one is negative sentences. For that we use the structure subject, after that do or does, then not, after that first form of verb, and then we will put object. For example, he does not eat an apple and they do not eat apples. The next one is interrogative. For interrogative we use this structure do or does plus subject, then first form of verb, then object, and after that we will put question mark. For example, does he eat an apple or do they eat apples? The next one is negative interrogative. So we will write do and does in the start of the sentence, then subject, then not. After that we write first form of verb and then object. At the end of the sentence we put question mark. For example, does he not eat an apple or do they not eat apples? The next one is double interrogative. We use WH words like why, when, where, who, whom, whose and how at the start of the sentence, and then follow the pattern of interrogative sentences. So the pattern we have used for interrogative sentences, just we put WH words before that structure and we can form double interrogatives. For example, why does he eat an apple or when do they eat apples? So now, after learning the rules of present indefinite tense, let's move towards its exercise number 1. Exercise number 1 is related to simple sentences of this tense. So let's translate it. गीदड़ शाम को चीखते हैं. The jackals howl in the evening. मैं अपने भाई से प्यार करता हूँ. I love my brother. हम हर रोज़ अखबार पढ़ते हैं. We read newspaper daily. असलम ईद पर नए जूते खरीदता है. असलम buys new shoes on Eid. गरीब आदमी मुश्किल से गुजर बसर करता है. द पुअर मैन लिव्स फ्रॉम हैंड टू माउथ। अमीर आदमी गरीबों को हिकारत की निगाह से देखता है। द रिच मैन लुक्स डाउन अपॉन द पुअर। मुर्गियाँ सारा साल अंडे देती हैं। द हेन्स ले एग्स राउंड द ईयर। क्या आप 10वीं जमात को अंग्रेज़ी पढ़ाते हैं? डू यू टीच इंग्लिश टू 10th क्लास? मैं तैरना जानता हूँ। आई नो हाउ टू स्विम। ये लड़का हमेशा शोर करता है। दिस बॉय ऑलवेज मेक्स अ नॉइज़। खुदा उनकी मदद करता है जो अपनी मदद आप करते हैं। गॉड हेल्प्स दोज हु हेल्प देमसेल्व्स। हम बैंक से रुपया हर रोज़ निकलवाते हैं। वी विदड्रॉ मनी फ्रॉम बैंक डेली। तुम झूठे बहाने बनाते हो। यू मेक फॉल्स एक्सक्यूजेस। डूबते को तिनके का सहारा। अ ड्राउनिंग मैन कैचेज एट अ स्ट्रॉ। सूरज मगरिब में गरूब होता है। द सन सेट्स इन द वेस्ट। Dear students, it's time to end up our lecture here by assigning you the home task. So, learn exercise of unit number 3 and also the rules and sentence structure for the present indefinite tense. Thank you so very much for listening carefully. Fi aman Allah.